Ladies and gentlemen, Alabama got terrible injury news today for a guy that this defense has relied on, a guy that's in a portion of this defense that's already thin, and that's the secondary. As Keon Sabb has announced that he is going to be down with injury for quite some time. Gentlemen, this is not ideal. Like I just alluded to, Alabama already very young there. You have Damani Jackson, who's probably outside of Malachi Moore, the most senior player, and even he hasn't played a lot of football games. It's a group that's been showcasing some of their ability, but they're also learning in the fire. And now one of the guys that has been a great addition via the portal goes down. And we have to talk about what comes next for Alabama. If you are watching this and you are not in the live, be sure to hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about this injury. What do you believe Alabama does? And how does this affect them going forward? Coach I want to start with you. What was your thought when you heard that Alabama's secondary, a secondary that we've talked about this a lot, already youthful,
Right.
just had one of their guys go down, and especially at that safety position?
Listen, going against Missouri and Brady, what's his name? Brady Cook, and then you got LSU and Nussmeier. I think this is a huge blow because I feel like, of course, Starks and Caleb Downs coming into the season, obviously the two top dogs at safety, but Keon Sabb, the way he played at Michigan, wasn't far behind. And to get him out of the portal, I felt like that was a key pickup in the offseason to replace somebody like a Caleb Downs. And actually, he's actually been playing better than I thought he would play, up until this point. So I think that's a key loss. I don't know who you guys got behind him, but going against those two teams, both the Tigers, I think that defensive front, that puts a lot of more pressure on that defensive front to get pressure on the quarterback, which again, they did well against Tennessee. So you're going to need more of that going forward.
100%. And Jance, as I pass it to you, I do want to give a major shout out to Sabb, because the play where the last play, I believe he was in the game, Tennessee took a deep shot, and it wasn't an inaccurate pass. Their wide receiver laid out for the ball, and the effort that Sabb showed to get down there and break up that pass on an already injured foot, because remember, he appeared on that injury list before the game, and the injury, if I'm not mistaken, worsened during the game. To get down there and break up the pass showed nothing but pure heart. Yes, we can talk about the athleticism, and I can go on for days about that. But the heart that he showed playing injured in this game, especially on that play, you could tell this meant a lot to him. And I'm certainly not saying that he's the only one, right? A lot of players are banged up right now, and they're playing with a lot of heart. But what he showed in that play was undeniable. Jance, talk to me about where Alabama goes, right? So he's no longer there. You're about to play some pass-happy attacks that are going to already test the young secondary. What's the name we need to look out for Alabama to step up?
You probably need to look for Hubbard, who came in for Sabb last time. I actually thought Hubbard had a really, really good game, stepping up in there and playing his responsibilities, not doing too much, not being his own man. And I thought he had a really, really good job as a backup, did his responsibility. This secondary is already hobbled. You have too many players that are already hurt, and so many of these young guys, like a Red Morgan, like a Xavier Brown, like a Jalen Mbakwe, who had to come in the game, Like, you got so many young freshmen that are going to come in, and a lot of first-year starters that are going to go in and play. Keon Sabb was one of the backbones, especially for the safety position for this team. Like you said, he was already hobbled up anyway, and we made him play we didn't make him play. They probably gave him the decision, and he decided, like, no, I'm gonna stick out here and play. So for anybody that's questioning his commitment to play for this team, I think that should show you right there how committed he was to the process. But no, I mean, for the most part, I mean, one of the biggest things about the secondary was miscommunication, right? That's something that we all talked about, was how, can these players get on the same page? Can they pick it up quickly, especially when we get to this point of the schedule? Well, it's already here. It's already here now. We're in the toughest part of our schedule, and you're going against a Missouri team that has two very, very good receivers. LSU has probably one of the best receiving corps in the country, and both coordinators are really, really good. So this is going to be one of those situations where you're going to need these young guys to step up, and you're going to need them to step up pretty quickly, especially going down for the leaders like we've had already. But the good thing is that defensively, the last couple weeks that Alabama has played, they have been better. And the big reason why is because their front seven has ramped up a lot of pressure. We figured out we did a much better job in terms of stopping the run game, not maybe as consistent as you would want it to be, but we did a much better job stopping the run game. And I think that has made it a lot easier for the secondary to play and to get in sync. So we're going to need to continue for the next couple of weeks, despite the injury with Keon Sabb. But I think the good thing is that you already see some positive things when the backups were able to come in and play pretty well.
Before Coach Sean, before you jump in, I think that also puts some more pressure on Nick Sheridan in the offense to run the ball a little bit more, because you got some, again, like Jance just said, secondary already hobbled. Now one of your leaders goes down. It's like, let's keep the ball away from these guys right now, you know what I'm saying? So they don't have as many plays to get exposed.
100%. And Coach Sean, with that in mind, as I pass it to you, one of the things we talked about all offseason with this secondary is we weren't questioning the talent. And I think that's been very evident. There are some really talented young players in this secondary. The question was always experience. And Hubbard has shown some really great play this year. So I'm very excited for him, very excited to see what he's been able to do. But from an offensive mind, what does this mean for Alabama's defense, specifically Alabama's secondary, and what are your expectations moving forward?
They just got to get those guys reps. Shout out to the brother Bear in the chat, man. Shout out to Bear, Inslee High School, Birmingham. They got to, man, they just got to get these guys reps. King Mack, you could definitely tell the young man was sort of lost in coverage a couple of times. You can definitely tell his athletic ability is off the charts, right? He didn't really understand how to play the leverage. He let the dude eat up the cushion on him. Just young, just like you just said, experience is just not there, right? I think you got to get these guys reps. Bray Hubbard actually played well. He was physical in the run game. He obviously was a little more experienced than some of the other younger guys in the pass game. He played good leverage. I mean, I was very happy with Bray Hubbard. I wouldn't be shook if I seen Bray Hubbard out there at all. I seen that kid in A-Day make a lot of plays, right? Bigger kid, a little more physical, a little more physicality in the run game. The King Mack kid, he just got to get the reps. It's just one of those situations where you got to get the kid in there, let him take first team reps. Devontae Smith is beat up. Damani Jackson is beat up. He's not 100% when he runs. You could tell he's still sort of beat up. Man, this entire secondary outside of Malachi is really, really beat up. Malachi seems to be playing as healthy as possible, but you got to get these guys reps. You got to get these guys reps, man. Repetition is the key. They need to take all the reps, the repetition, getting them comfortable, getting them in the film room. You just got to get them prepared to play. They're young, they're gonna make mistakes. But I wasn't upset with Bray Hubbard at all. I actually like the way Bray played. Devontae Smith is beat up. I don't know the status of him. Seems like he's been beat up every game. Seems like he get hurt at some point during every game. So I'm not sure he's been healthy from the onset. But it's just repetition. You got to get these guys ready to play the next opponent. These guys are going to challenge you downfield. Missouri's offense actually run a lot of the same things we do as far as misdirectional plays. They'll even pin and pull at times. These guys will throw the ball over your head. I can imagine Eli Drinkwitz is going to test our secondary. But the one thing about Eli and that Gus Malzahn type, he's not going to do it recklessly, if that makes any sense. Eli set it up perfectly. He'll set it up, man. They got a veteran quarterback back there. They got, Luther Burden and the other young man. These guys will set it up perfectly, man. They'll set it up with the run. They'll play action you, and they'll try to go over your head, accurately. So you just got to get these guys reps. They need to take as many reps as possible, film study as possible, and let them go out there and play. That's really all you can do in this situation.
Love it. And I agree, guys. I think Bray Hubbard is the name to know. Can't stress how much I hate this for Sabb. He was playing really good football, going out there, laying it on the line for Alabama. And the fact that he showed up on the injury report the week before, played the game, and then played in the manner he did. I mean, he was having a great game. He and Malachi Moore caused that first fumble where he had a great form tackle. Malachi Moore came in there, ripped the ball out. And then the way he tracked down that receiver with a hurt foot, we can talk about the athleticism, and that's a conversation we should have. But I think that the heart is something that needs to be pointed out, because that's a young man that was showing you He believes in Crimson, and he was laying it all out there. Hop down to the comments. Let us know what you're thinking about this injury. Let us know if you're excited for Bray Hubbard to go in there. As all the gentlemen on the panel have said, every time you've seen him, played real high-quality football. Excited for him to get this opportunity, even though I'm incredibly sad at how the opportunity came. Never want to see anybody get injured. Speedy recovery to Sab, and can't wait to hear your thoughts on this as Alabama looks towards Missouri. That's it. See ya.